Happy Whiskey Wednesday, everybody. This is the Whiskey Lifestyles Women in Whiskey series. I am Rashawn Hall, aka Bartime Stories, your host for this series. And we have another great episode this week. This week we are featuring two young women who have their own craft cocktail business. I'll let them introduce themselves. But thank you to Whiskey and Rosemary for joining us. Ladies, thank you so much. I'll let you introduce yourselves.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for having us. My name is Erika.
I'm Raquel, and we are Whiskey and Rosemary.
Yes. So Whiskey and Rosemary is a craft lifestyle brand we started in 2017 as a blog, but officially made it a business 2018. We just started bonding over our shared interest for craft, cocktails, food, travel, arts, and more. So we started sharing things online, and then, people were asking us, hey, do you offer these services? We started doing more events in the city. We just started growing it from there. And during the pandemic, we just started leaning into it more. So
yeah. So we, in a nutshell, we do like craft cocktails, events, experiences. We work with different brands. We do brand partnerships and recipe development. I just have fun, just two creatives having fun with this. So yeah.
Awesome. So I actually started my personal spirit content creation in 2017 as well. People always ask me, what was the thing? What was that? What inspired that first post? So what inspired you all to sit down and say, all right, let's do the blog? What was that? Was there a specific moment, thing, experience?
Yeah, we were working both at studio number 7 in Atlanta. It was an event space, Black women owned. And we were drinking some of her whiskey after we got off.
And then Whiskey and Rosemary, like that whole night.
With one of my coworker friends.
Yeah, we're just having a good time. It was natural, organic, singing songs, and
we made up a song about
Whiskey and Rosemary, and it just stuck. And I was like, oh, that's got a ring to it. Like, oh, what's with this? You know what I mean? So from there, we kind of let's just make this a blog. Like, yeah, I both love to travel. We both love food. We both love cocktails. Like, let's do a blog.
Yeah.
So we decided to do that, and then really
we traveled to Thailand. So I think it was within 4 months of us knowing each other. I had a friend that was supposed to be going out there for her birthday and was going to be like a group trip, but then she couldn't make it anymore. But we still decided to go.
I was like, I'm still
yeah. 2 days, and then we kind of backpack the rest. Not backpack and hiked, but just planned as we went and let the trip lead us.
Yeah.
So that's how we worked well together, that we can communicate, we can make it alive in the country for 17 days without much planning, by just going with the flow, and definitely just flowed.
Yeah, I think there we definitely started to develop the idea a little more
about what we can do.
Yeah, and think about it more so in a sense of a business rather than a blog. So yeah. And then ever since then, the rest is history.
Yeah, 17 days in a foreign country with somebody. That's some trial by fire. I don't know if present company included, the producer who's unseen here. I don't know if we could do 17 days together. I don't know if I could do 17 days with anybody. So kudos to you all on that. But you mentioned working in the Atlanta cocktail scene. I don't know if people know. People always think New York, San Francisco, Miami when they think of cocktail culture. Tell us a little bit about the Atlanta cocktail scene.
I definitely think it's growing. When I started, I didn't know too much about it. But like I said, the event space I was working for, the owner, Shannon Evans, she's pretty heavily involved in the cocktail scene. So she introduced me to a lot of cocktail bars and bartenders. There's so much talent. There's
a lot of talent in Atlanta.
It's crazy. It's heavy.
So the current scene, I would just say it's a lot of talent. It's a lot of cocktail bars. Really just really good bars that have, I don't even know if it has a distinct vibe, or New York is this, and I think Atlanta
creative.
It's creative. It's just creative. We are let me think. Let's say Joystick was one of a bar. It's I forgot the lady's name, but she's a very talented bartender, and it has a cool vibe where people can socialize, get good food, but it's games all around. So it's kind of not a hole in a wall, but it feels like kind of like old timey family vibes. And then you have spaces like that where you can get a really good craft cocktail,
Yeah.
or you can go, of course, some more so like the James, maybe a place where James Beard nominated chefs or things like that. Look, it's a lot of that in Atlanta of like the extreme sides of like as far as the dining styles,
Even
but it's like talent and there's a whole bunch of talent in between.
I was gonna just mention the speakeasies too, like parlors. It's a place that we both
Yeah,
were thinking
it's less of a speakeasy now, but when we were both bartending there before the pandemic, it was speakeasy. Like people would just walk up and like, we would just talk to them and feel what they kind of want, and we'll just create something.
And what I liked about that space is that we were able to be creative. So like we had our own cocktails on the menu. Like if it's something that they were open to, like we just could play around, and it's fun.
But it's a lot of things, especially the black influence here in Atlanta is a lot. It's the most that I've seen like black bartenders actually at a certain caliber, like in one area, So it's a lot of like black bartenders here thriving, and it's a lot of bar competitions. I know Relly's, they do a lot of bar competitions with a lot of Atlanta talent, and yeah,
It's dope. It's just a dope space.
So is it possible that we'll see a Whiskey and Rosemary actually a full on brick and mortar, where somebody come and enjoy your cocktail? That you guys any thoughts on that?
We definitely thought about it.
Yeah,
Definitely thought about it.
we're not like right now. I know one of our goals is to just travel around and do more events, like so we can both like learn and meet people around the world and like just explore more, because I love to travel, and I know.
Yeah, and another thing, we love working with chefs too.
Yeah, like partnerships.
Yeah, partnerships. Educating ourselves more on like flavor, like the smallest things, But yeah, in the future,
possibly like when we get more experience in our belt, maybe we have something create. We could create something now, but it's like, nah, not yet.
So speaking of collaborations, you talk about collaborating with chefs. You talk about different event collaborations. Tell us about a recent collaboration and how it all came together. What the whiskey and rosemary process is like for collaborating.
So we had two recent collaborations actually. One with Cyril Davis. He's a really dope photographer, and he works with Bacardi. So he actually he went to Thailand and Turkey, and he wanted us to like kind of create cocktails based off his experience.
Right up our alley.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, we just created. We just talked to him, asked him like about his experience, and we created like a yellow curry Thai cocktail.
So
that was good based off what he actually liked. We used like some fresh mango in there. We made our homemade yellow curry, and we did some Thai chili, Thai basil.
Yeah, so it was a little spicy. It's a great cocktail. A cocktail inspired by his trip to Turkey, which we wanted to focus on desserts. Like desserts are big out there, so we did like a baklava inspired cocktail. It was very creamy, very sweet.
Yeah, that video didn't come out yet, but it's real fun.
By the time this airs, the world will know. So yeah, it's all good. So what is that? Let's look for those collaborators. What is the most what is the most important thing? What is the thing that said this is the right project for us? Like what inspires that collaboration, or says this is the project for us or not?
It's just alignment.
Yeah, I think alignment and things that happen organically and naturally is a big thing for us, and just being able to be as creative as we want to be with no limits. I think that's important to us.
Yeah,
making sure that we're aligned with the brand. Like, are they, like, is it sustainable? Are they using fresh ingredients? Things like that matter to us.
Because mainly we use fresh ingredients unless it's like a pre-made. Like we usually make things ourselves, but it just has to be aligned with our core, which is like crafts. We really like craft things and experiences. Like another recent collaboration, for example, was with Beats and Ballads in Atlanta, and Raquel literally, in music or like just into music, and comes from that space. So, she went to the first one, so she's been like supporting this event for a while ago, and I've seen it and I've heard about it, and a lot of friends that I know go, and that's just organic. Like it's cultivating a space for community, because another thing is community for us and artistic expression. So that was an alignment. And then she wanted us to kind of like just handle like the liquid space. So we were able to be creatively like limitless on what we want to provide to the space. So with that, with the type of community that she's building and that the platform that she has, as far as like her passion and how much love she has for it, like we love working with people like that, because it's just a beautiful thing to see somebody doing what they're passionate about, and being able to be a part of that.
Appreciative of an experience.
And craft cocktails or mocktails, because we had a mocktail too.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
just generally alignment. Collaborations look different, but as long as we have like some type of like core alignment.
Cool. And as startup owners, obviously this takes a lot of work. So what do you all do when you're not, making craft cocktails, when you're not ideating, when you're not working on partnerships? What do you all do to individually like recharge your battery? How do you take that break? Obviously, most people will say, "Oh, I'll have a drink after a long day of work," but obviously, for some point, you all may want to take a step back from that. So what is balancing that work-life balance look like?
Definitely taking a step back to like literally just be, to breathe, to meditate, to pray. Also, we both do cleanses and stuff every now and then. So I want a period of time without alcohol and just refueling our bodies, taking care of ourselves, taking care of our health.
Hiking, getting out in nature, just spending time doing what I like, skating, like definitely skating. So,
and we were just talking about food earlier, like eating. We had like a whole hour conversation about like, oh, what you had for dinner this week, and what creating in other ways. And like I think the culture is another way we,
when we both like did a good job like at work, or we're feeling like we just need a meeting where we're just chatting over good food, we'll just try a new space, we'll try something new. And because I know that food heavily influences like some of the things that we create, because it's just, food is a beautiful thing. So
food is life.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. And we are asking everyone in this season, what is one thing you could tell yourself 5 years ago that would help your career, help you personally? Obviously, it's interesting you guys started this blog almost 6 years ago now at this point. What's a piece of advice that you would give your younger self, or maybe give each other 5 years ago, knowing now what you know about this business, this industry, working the way you all do?
Yeah. I would say like,
no, go ahead.
Like it's okay to change paths. It's okay to like bring your full self in a new path. Because I didn't really see myself going down this direction or going in this direction. And it's been good. It's been fun. I've been finding myself in it more and more. So yeah, I would say stay the path. It's okay to switch it up sometimes. Like it's all right to switch it up.
I would just say, just continue to show up, continue to learn, and just drop some like thoughts and, mental barriers, just continue to go for it full force. Cause, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're working a job, it's just like life is to be lived now. I think that's what I would think. It's like every day, like it's to be lived now. So whatever I choose to do, I want to show up the fullest I can be. So like whether it's like taking a step back so I can do that, and then just not really being in my own way of like of my thoughts and like how things are supposed to be. It's no supposed to be. It's just you just be, and you just do, and you do you, because nobody cares.
It's okay. I have to do it one way. I think one thing when I got in this industry, I was like, oh, I'm not like this crazy bartender, like, but I'm a creative, so we use that to our advantage, like just being creative people in general. Like, oh, okay, like, yeah, we could do this our way.
Yeah.
Does it have to be this way?
Yeah, because we both came in from more of a slower pace event style, which I enjoyed. Like, yes, banged out some parties, like
Right.
we had, like heavy, high volume, definitely. But I enjoyed like the slower process, the craft. It may take a little longer. It may take a little longer to prepare, like on every step of on every step, but it matters, that matters. And that's what I enjoy. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome. And lastly, the fun question we always end every interview with: if you guys been sipping on some IW Harper I saw earlier. So if you could have a pour of IW Harper with anyone dead or alive, and I'll let each of you answer. Who would it be and why?
Like one person?
One person. If you want to, cheat a little bit and say two people, feel free. Yeah.
I'm gonna say my dad. I'll have one with him. He passed when I was younger, and I never got to have a proper drink with him. So I would say,
Um, honestly, I don't know. One person is hard.
one person.
I would have loved to meet Cicely Tyson. That's the one in the first few. I would have loved to just talk to her, have a drink with her. Yeah, I would have loved to. Yeah, she's just such a force, and very force. Like, just she's a force, not forceful, but she's a force, and I just admire women like her. So.
Well, those are two great answers, and you guys are also forces. So thank you so much for on your own rights and carving that way in the Atlanta cocktail scene. And I just want to thank you both for taking the time out to do this. It's been a pleasure. I love what you guys are doing. Obviously both on social and in the Atlanta area. So definitely keep us up to date on what you guys are doing. Need support and appreciate you guys taking out the time there to hop on the show with us.
Hey, thank you, Sue. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you. Cheers.